And we also have Reek. He's a DC native, heavy in the music scene, worked with Black Cobain and Wale.
Yes.
And he had some questions for you.
I'm a huge Wale fan. Yeah.
Yeah, we want to know your music taste too.
Yeah, during when I was a student at Howard Law, I only listened to Wale and J. Cole, and I went to school with Jermaine at St. John's.
Okay.
I knew him as Jermaine.
Yeah.
But he's J. Cole now, all cool now. But I listened to every day before I walked into, we had finals. I always listened to like Wale going into finals, and like he got a line. He's like, "Well wishes to my competition."
Hey,
you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
I walked into finals every year, like hyped. Like I had ambition, and when I was in law school, I was a waitress and I worked at Nordstrom Rack. So I'm like, I'm not sleeping. I'm like going to internships, doing class, whatever, and I'm just in a car like they gonna love me for my ambition.
Let's
like
go.
You know what I mean? Like
Where were you a waitress at?
Fire Station Restaurant in Silver Spring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Open mic. I used to do their open mics.
Open
mics.
The Old Bay wings were fire.
Yeah.
Like, I used to recommend the Old Bay wings to everybody because I used to survive.
That's crazy that you worked there.
I survived off Old Bay wings at. That's how I got through law school.
We were in the trenches.
Wale, Ambition, J. Cole, and J. Cole has this intro. It's like, when my story's told, let it be known I never fold, let it be known, I would go in every day just like, so I tell people all the time, I know Tone P is, a huge producer, right? And I told Tone, I wouldn't have got my law degree if it wasn't for that album. You produced the best album ever. I remember my crim law, I went in there, I got the highest score in the class because I was just like, listen, I'm on a mission, you know what I mean? I'm on a mission for my community, my neighborhood. So yeah. Anyways, Rap Janeese will come out later on.
Yeah. Listen. That time when we was creating those projects, especially that Ambition album, it was a magical time because we were at the forefront of trying to break something from here organically. Mm-hmm. And so we were up against those challenges like Martin talked about, having to go other places and fight. Fight for our culture, fight for who we were to make our mark into, the industry. So what I wanted to ask was speaking of the DC culture and who we are as natives, right? This city attracts a lot of people. Over the last 10 years, I'm gonna say, we've been seeing an influx of all kinds of people, right? How do, or what do we do as natives working with administration how do we make sure we uphold DC culture? Things like Porch Fest, things like Mo Fest, things like
that's right
that the natives are a part of, that the natives are born and bred and believe in. How do we uphold DC culture with all the newness, all the things that are coming in and out of the city, and make sure that the people that are coming here are taking part in the culture that's already here without trying to rewrite history of what's going on now, focusing in on what we have done and what we have built here?
Yeah. I think it's our job to elevate DC culture. That's what other jurisdictions do. I was jealous. Roots Picnic just happened this weekend. Mm-hmm. I was like, yo, what if DC had its own Roots Picnic? We have our own artists to actually up Roots Picnic on our own, right? So it's just MoFest, Home Rule Festival, when we are talking about attracting people to the city, we don't have to use outside, artists to attract people to the city. We have our own artists right here to attract people to our city. So to me, it's about I actually ended up doing a Petworth emergency bill to actually allow Petworth Porch Fest to happen, because the city often makes it really hard for people to put together block parties and festivals. You got to spend $10,000 even when they're trying to do it for free. A lot of our community, Mocha, all these MoFest, all these people, our artists are we'll do it for free, and the city will be great, I know you're doing it for free, but you got to pay us this $10,000 just to have cars here. And it's just I just feel as a city, it's our role to elevate our culture, our music, our artists, and we do that by using the funding we have when we're doing events. I also want to put events back in neighborhoods. We took a lot of neighborhood events and put them downtown, right? So for example, Caribbean Fest used to be uptown because we are known for, we got the largest Caribbean community across the board. We know that, we're proud of it, but now everything is always downtown on the National Mall, right? even Mount Pleasant. Mount Pleasant used to always have the Independence Day, like Independence Festival or something. Mm-hmm. And like we took that, put it downtown. Like it's just like, you know, like bring back. I was telling somebody like bring back like the culture within the neighborhoods that like cultivated it and allow those things to happen in those neighborhoods and communities, because that just supports like the small businesses in the area. So yeah, I just want to see us like putting our own artists on, like we have DC cable television. We got 202 Creates. Like these are great. I think these are great. I want to use 202 Creates to really like elevate our young artists who are coming up. You know, we got generations of new young go-go artists, bands who want to be put on too. You know, like put on some of our go-go bands. Like, you know, when we bring artists here, make them have to like work with our people, like, and you know, just I think we have to be the ones really to just create the opportunity for ourselves. And I think as a city, we sort of, that's what I was saying, like we sort of downplay our arts, our music, our culture, when like we're the OGs of it for real. Like, I mean, my mom and dad grew up on 13th and T Street, across the street from each other, you know what I mean? And they remember when like U Street was like Black Harlem Renaissance. Yeah. You know what I mean?
My
like,
mom talk about that all the time.
You know, like that's how they grew up. They remember like the White Law Hotel where all the like, you know, artists used to stay, you know. So like, come on, DC, like let's start leaning back into what makes us great. Like we don't gotta like, you know, like I'm not hating on Philly and NYC because they got their stuff, but we do too. And LA always like California puts their artists on. Like
they do.
You go to the Bay, it's Bay artists. You know what I mean? You go to LA, it's LA artists, right? So like DC, let's start doing that work. You know, that's what I want to see. And we got to start showing love and showing value for ourselves, honestly.
So I got another question for you because you're an uptown girl, right?
Yeah.
So I need to know, who's your favorite go-go band?
Oh my God.
I gotta hear it. I need to know. You're an uptown girl. I know I'm making you make a decision. What's your favorite band?
I'm gonna get in trouble.
This is, you know, it's official music of the city. What's your favorite band?
It's the CCB Roll Call.
Oh, I didn't think you was going to go there.
Yeah, Roll Call. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And let me follow that one up. Favorite venue to go to the go-go coming up? When you was coming up, what was your favorite venue?
Oh my goodness.
I saw a picture of you. You dropped a picture recently of you at the go-go.
I was trying to let people know. Like, we used to be in the Mad Chef. We used to be in, you know, like, so what's funny is like my sister's like 14 years older than me. Both of my sisters, they're gonna kill me. So when I was younger, like because they both went to Roosevelt and Wilson, now Jackson Reed, they used to go to the Ibex. Ibex was closed by the time I grew up, right? But I remember dropping my sister off at the Ibex on the corner. But for us, we went to like, you know, I would just say like Mad Chef. We used to go there all the time. Gonzaga used to have the blackouts.
Go-go at the school.
Go-go at the schools. That's the type of stuff I'm talking about bringing back, right? We used to have go-go's at the school, so I always went to the blackouts at Gonzaga because they also had the cute guys, you know. But that's how I was. I was like, oh, we going to Gonzaga for the blackout. What else? Man, people don't know. Our generation, we just got to live. Like, we had dream, then we had love. We was living on a different scale. I remember Fur used to have phone parties. Yeah. I was like, why did our parents let us go to phone parties? Like, what are we doing? Anyway, DC youth used to just have things to do. Like, that's the stuff I want to bring back. Because we had real functions. So, I'm glad we're doing some of that. Like, Shanklin Hall. You know, they just, you know, some of my friends, we grew up, they created this space because they were like, yeah, man, I want us to bring back those spaces like we used to have. Diet Starts Monday used to be the move, right? Like, we got to bring back, like, the spaces that we create for ourselves, by ourselves. So I'm glad to see, like, our generation's trying to take that stuff on. But, yeah, man, I don't know why our families let us just be out here doing all this stuff. But I was like, we probably should not have, you know... been on 4 levels of love back in the day. You remember they used to have overachievers? You remember?
Yeah, overachievers parties.
The overachiever parties. Yeah. This was wild. It was a great time to be.
It was an era.
Our era really knew how to cultivate and create good times, and we really did it.
Have you heard the new Lizo track, the remix of Sexy Ladies?
I did.
What you think about it?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. You know, one of my good friends, Shantae Van, she and I went to church together, was in NYC together. We laugh at each other now because she said, you always said you were going to step up and like lead in our city. And I said, you always said you were going to be like a world-renowned dancer. And she's one of Lizzo's dancers.
Really?
Yeah. And so she put Lizzo on, actually. Shantae did. We call her Tay-Tay. Tay-Tay put Lizzo on to go-go music, and she just loved it and vibed with it. So it was a beautiful thing. And then when she did her video, she had the Madness gear on. As you know, Madness is like an uptown brand.
Of course.
So shout out to them. So... and Sade, her sister, always does styling work. So it's just like, it's all, that's what I mean. Like, you got DC people putting DC on the map, like just through their own artistry, like one a dancer, one a stylist, but like putting other artists on. And when artists get put on a DC, they love it. Like Jill Scott, you know, we love Jilly.
Yes.
Like Jilly from Philly, but Jilly also DC. We claim her now because she just vibes with DC. She's like, y'all know art, y'all know culture, y'all know music. She love go-go. So it's just like, that's what I mean. You know, we got good people. When our people do that, like, you know, when Amini put out, it's this one thing, you know what I mean? Like, people rock with
we need more.
The soul of that. So we also need just more artists who are willing to, like, you know, come and get this DC sound and DC feel. And that allows us to put DC on the national scale like we used to be. And we just got to support our own artists, man. Like, I tell people, like, DC, we be so hard on ourselves. Like, DC, stop being so hard on your folks. Like, you know, we so critical. Like, when our people are on, we got to ride for them. Like, we got to promote them. We got to support them because that's our own, you know, and, like, that's how we grow. So, yeah, that's the love.
If you know, the Roots Picnic in Philly just happened.
Yeah.
If we were to bring our own version of it in DC, what would be your dream musical lineup?
What kind of spot are you putting me on? No, I just want. I love it. I love the question. Well, obviously, you know, I'm gonna say
this is the dream. This is the dream list. You know, you could choose anyone.
Okay.
Who's on the Janeese Lewis George playlist? You know, who had an impact on you?
Well, if we're gonna do Roots Picnic here, we gotta have band. We should have like our go-go bands first and foremost. Like, we gotta put go-go on the stage. It can't just be hip hop.
Yeah, house band like Roots vibes, you know, but DC version.
Yeah. So I want us to do have our own backroom band now. I don't know who get to do it, like, because it's between like you may want Backyard, you may want TCB. You may want the Mumbo Sauce band. They know how to do it. Black Alley. Like, we got some bands who know how to rock. So I would want to see like TCB, the Black Alley band, Mumbo Sauce band, UCB, CCB, Backyard, of course. Like, just a whole, we need a go-go stage. Pretty much a go-go stage where we have like homegrown DC bands, and then we put some of like the new young guys on who trying to up and come be bands, because I want to put some of them on. I think we put some of our R&B artists, like, come on, let's bring, you know, Maya, you know what I mean? We got to have Amini come back, show them how it's done. Our generation of just, like, young musicians. Who else? Obviously, Wale. Like, obviously, who else we want? Do you want it all DC or
no?
Just
it could be you know, people affiliated with the city, you know.
I mean,
Ari Lennox, Corday.
Oh yeah, Ari Lennox, definitely. That's what I mean. Like, our own R&B artists. That's the same thing. Like, we got to support our bands. We got to support our R&B artists when they on the top. Like, Ari is amazing. She's so dope, and she loves the city so much. So I want to see Ari. I think we should have some of our comedians too, though.
Oh yeah,
like, we need a comedy stage.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, you got to go on the comedy stage.
We need a comedy festival.
We do need a comedy festival.
That would be amazing.
I agree. I actually like this idea. Let's
Is this
going to
be your first order? You know,
Martin, get this comedy stuff together, because DC has like just some of the most amazing comedians across the board. So we got to have women comedians too.
Of course, a lot of history, a lot of great talent here. This sounds like a cool festival. I'm already trying to buy tickets.
Yeah, Dave Chappelle would come back if we had a comedy festival for DC. Like, he just comes back.
Are you a fan of the Front Porch?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just a fan of just I love authenticity across the board.
Yeah.
And when I feel people this is what I love about DC is like everybody comes to their art from such an authentic place and people feel it. And then that's how you get that like national feel to it. So I would love to see us just like really lean in on that in a real way.